There are a couple of lines from the song My Way, immortalized by Frank Sinatra, written years ago by Paul Anka, that can be applied to gambling and handicapping. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. And what it really means is this, that you can place a bet, you can look back, you can say, maybe I shouldn't have done that. You can have that regret, but you can never let that regret turn into second-guessing yourself. You can never let that regret turn into beating yourself up for a loss because of what you did or what you didn't do. Big difference between having a regret and second-guessing yourself. Because when you second-guess yourself, when you are that type of gambler, that's when you shouldn't be gambling. And I hope you understand that. A regret versus second-guessing yourself. Second-guessing yourself, that erodes your confidence. Regret, like the song says, regret, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. And I bring that up because yesterday, I was going for a third straight, raise the bar, 20-dime winner. I had North Carolina. Roy Williams is one of those guys that I knew going into that game. Roy and I have never been like this. Roy and I have never broken bread. Roy and I are just not that close. It's just been one of those things. Because I've always felt that Roy is a fraud. Yeah, I know. I haven't told Roy to his face because we just haven't bonded over the years in that way that I felt up close and personal. I could tell him to his face that he is a fraud. But I always felt that he's one of these coaches that even though he's always had great talent, he's never been able in the big game situations to get the most out of that talent. Has he won a national championship? Yes. Let's give him props for doing so. But it just seems to me that in big game situations, more often than not, that great talent that he has at his disposal, they don't deliver. So going into that game last night on that raise the bar 20-dime release, I thought they'd beat Auburn. Well, guess what? They didn't even come close. You saw the game just like I did. So, do I have a regret? Yeah. What did I do? I muttered my, I think, favorite 7 or 8 obscenities before halftime because I realized even before halftime there was no chance, unless hell froze over, that I was going to win that game. But I didn't second-guess myself because I evaluated the game, I handicapped the game, I thought it was the best bet, and I made it. And I lost it. So regrets, you have a few, but then again, too few to mention, and you move on. And that's why I always say you can't let yesterday affect how you're going to play today. It's another money-making opportunity staring you in the face. And sometimes when you let those regrets turn into second-guessing yourself, where you erode your confidence, that next money-making opportunity goes right out the window. It passes you by, you don't even recognize it. It's like when a girl dumps you when you're a teenager and you're down in the dumps and you don't realize that next girl is waiting right there in front of you and you don't even see her. Well, to me, that next girl, it's another raise the bar 20-dime release today on the game between Gonzaga and Texas Tech. I love it, and I'm going for it. And that's the end of the story. Now listen, the guy with the big play today here, however, is Scott Delaney, who for the first time in his 17-year career today, in any sport, has a triple your wager 300-dime release. And he is going, what I like to say, climbing that ladder. He had a 100-dime play on Gonzaga against Florida State on Thursday. Yesterday, had his first 200-dime release in college basketball, and he cashed in last night as he was all over Michigan State, over LSU, and today a 300-dime release, Gonzaga and Texas Tech. And it's college basketball winner number 11 out of 15 overall. And you get it as the half-price play of the day by using coupon code 300-DIMER, 300-DIMER. Keep in mind, his normal top-rated 100-dime releases, 128 and 105 run. This play is even 33% bigger than his 200-dime college football national championship winner when Clemson smacked around Alabama, to put it in perspective. And 33% bigger than that winner on Michigan State last night. So that is, without a doubt, the biggest play today. And remember, as I always like to say, I believe that you don't have to spend big money to make big money. So there you go. The biggest play of his 17-year career. He's a charter member of this site. And it's the half-price play of the day. So let's get to the complimentary play. I'm going to take a look, of course, at the other game. It's Virginia and Purdue. Here's what bothers me most about Virginia. A lot of things bother me about Virginia. This team just can't score. We know they can't score. I just don't think Tony Bennett's system can get you the wins in crucial situations, or get you the covers, I should say. And we've seen it the past couple of years. Last year with the shocking first-round exit as a 1 versus a number 16. This year, lucky to slip by Gardner-Webb. Lucky to survive Oregon the other night. And right now they have a bigger problem. And I've been tracking the numbers. Their number 2 scorer, Kyle Guy. The last 4 games, going back to their ACC semifinal loss against Florida State, this is a guy who averages about 15 points a game. This is a guy who during the course of the season is almost a 45% shooter. The last 4 games, he is 14 for 53 from the field. 5 for 31 on 3-pointers. Scoring a total of 33 points. In the dance, in 3 games, he had 3 for 26 on 3-pointers. Against Oregon, he was 4 for 15 and 2 for 11 on 3-pointers. Guys, this is an anomaly. This is a trend. And when this guy behind DeAndre Hunter is your second leading scorer, and you're a team that's offensively challenged, you got problems. Now, did Purdue blow an 18-point lead and have to go into overtime against Tennessee? Damn right. But did they win the game? They did. And why did they win that game? Because Carson Edwards, a guy who coming into the tournament had some back issues and was struggling. But he has just caught fire. 42 points against Villanova, 29 points against Tennessee, including 6 in overtime, 32.3 points in the tournament, hitting 43% of his threes. And then his backcourt mate, Ryan Klein, a guy who averaged 12 points during the regular season, 7 3-pointers against Tennessee and 27 points. And then you've got the center, Matt Harms. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. 11.7 points. 14 points and 6 rebounds so far in the tournament on 69.2% shooting. And I saw a couple of writers point that out, and I thought, well, hold on. I thought he had a pretty damn good regular season, and he did. He averaged 9.5 points, 5.5 rebounds, and he averaged 63.5% shooting during the regular season. Now, did it concern me that against Tennessee, Purdue was dreadful from the line, only 16 for 33 from the free throw line? Yes, especially when I'm going to back Purdue and I'm only getting 4.5 points. But this is a Virginia team that, because Guy is struggling, a team, Virginia, that was a 40% three-point shooting team during the regular season, that in its last 5 games is only hitting from beyond the perimeter at about a 26% clip. You have teams right now in Virginia that can't hit the broadside of a barn. I'm going to take a shot and go with Purdue. I think this is going to be because Purdue is coming off the overtime game, because Virginia had to go fight tooth and nail down to the wire with Oregon. I think it's going to be a game where both teams are going to be in the 60s. I can see this being a 62-60, a 60-56 game. I think Purdue is going to be right there, and I think Purdue is going to hold on to get the cover. Can Purdue win this game? Listen, I didn't think Purdue was going to be Villanova, to be honest with you. I didn't know whether or not Purdue could beat Tennessee, but after watching that game and with the way they're playing with confidence right now, and also, let's not overlook the fact that this game is in Louisville. And with Tennessee getting knocked out, those Tennessee fans, those tickets are gone. They probably went on StubHub immediately. Who do you think benefits from those tickets going back on the open market? All the Purdue fans are going to be swarming right now in the Center for this game. It is going to be a huge pro-Purdue crowd. Say that 3 times quickly. So I like Purdue in this one. Let me give you a baseball complimentary play tonight. I like the Cubs on the run line. They're getting about 105, laying the 1.5 runs with Yu Darvish, who, of course, is making his first regular season start since last May. He was a bust last year for the Cubs, okay? In the spring training, he wasn't exactly great. They had to close him down at the end of spring training because he had a blister on one of his fingers. But Struggled with his control, but I find it ironic that here he's making his first start in, 11 months, and where's it at? Globe Park in Arlington, where he was so successful, 32 wins during his career with the Rangers, right? Before they traded him to the Dodgers, and he eventually went free agency and signed with the Cubs and was a bust last year. What I like here is that the Cubs led the Cactus League in run differential. The Cubs led all spring training teams, both in Florida and in Arizona, in total runs scored. And you saw they put 12 runs up to support John Lester's 6 innings of strong pitching in the season opener and a 12-4 win on Thursday. This Rangers team, I don't know where they're going to get a lot of offense, especially with Adrian Beltre retiring after last season. They're going with Edinson Volquez, who last year pitched for Florida and didn't pitch well. A guy who spent the first 3 years of his career with the Rangers back in 2005 when he broke into the majors. I just think this is a good spot with the Cubs, with their bats, to beat him up. So I'll lay the 1.5 runs. I'm not expecting great things from Darvish. I think if they get 5 innings from him today, they will be thrilled. But I think Darvish will be hyped up to pitch well going back to Arlington too. So I think it's a good situational spot to take the Cubbies here tonight. So again, I'm going to take a shot on Purdue, and I'm going to go with the Cubs on the run line. And to be honest with you, to be totally frank with you, I think the Cubs on the run line is the better of the two selections. That'll do it. I wish you well, guys, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.